Let's kick it off with a philosophy of use discussion real quick on the AGM Taipan thermal imaging monoculars. Here's the one I bought. That's right, I bought this one. This is a TM15 384. All the testing is complete, and it was extensive. I know this unit pretty darn well at this point. You have come to the right place if you want to find out if the Taipan is for you. Is it worth the money? How does it stack up against a FLIR breach? This is a video for you. It won't be super quick. It will be entertaining and informative. Kind of what I'm known for. Thank you. Thank you. And it is brought to you by elite TMP donors. They are the ones who gave me money to go out and purchase this. I did not get it from AGM direct. I didn't get it from a supplier for free. Nope. Fully independent voice here in TMP. You guys know this. Yes, it was expensive, but I'll tell you this. It was a lot less expensive than a FLIR breach. Like half. We'll get to that. We'll get to the value discussion somewhere along the way. Back to POU. A lot of guys use it for hog hunting with great success. It's a great way to find out where the hogs are at night. Once you know that, then you can break out your AR-15 with some sort of nod on top of it, night observation device, sighting device. You bet. A lot of guys use it for hog hunting down in Texas, maybe some other states like Oklahoma. I would do it too. If I lived down there, dude, I'd be hunting hogs all the time. The amount of property damage, farm damage they do is amazing. Shoot them on sight. It is open season down there. Pest control in general, if you live in a place where there's some rats, some type of pest that comes out at night and does damage, a good way to find them is with your Taipan. You bet. And honestly, I wish I had access to like a dump that had a ton of rats. I'd really love that. Now, it's not weapon mountable, but again, we are scouting with a Taipan, knowing where they are. And in some situations, you don't need a night vision device on your gun. There might be just enough light to use your scope. I've done such shooting throughout my life. So you don't necessarily need a night vision device on your gun in a lot of different lighting situations. Kind of like pest control at a dump or something like that. Also, POU, you can use your Taipan thermal imaging monocular for just general observation. You're into people watching at night? Knock yourself out. Very popular for that, by the way. And you might see some things that you didn't want to see. I'll tell you that right now. You take your Taipan out to a park at night, watch out. That's right, watch out. No, I didn't do it. But watch out. Any high-quality thermal imaging device is going to open up a world that you did not know existed at night. Great use for that. For just fun. And I use it for wildlife observation. I watched a deer in a certain location in Wyoming. You're going to see a lot of video from those guys. A mom and her fawn will be throughout this video. I used them a lot for demonstrating the heat signatures. Very fun to take on a camping trip, any outdoor trip, and just really have a high quality, not some cheesy crap device that everyone says, well, it's okay. This is something that will impress everybody, at least a TM15 384. It's going to impress everybody, sure. My focus for the review is property protection, asset protection, people protection from communist zombies, or just bad people and without rule of law. Having a device like this, super helpful because it is a force multiplier. I mean, do you have 50 guys to maintain a perimeter and without rule of law for your micro community? I already know the answer, and the answer is, no, nutnfancy, I do not, never will. It's me and like 3 other dudes. I know this. That's normal. So you have 3 reliable people who could help protect your neighborhood, your area, your micro community in the event of without rule of law, when there's no police, societal breakdown, and people go a-hunting. They're hunting for resources, guns, ammunition, food, women. I'm not making any of that up. So having a night observation device like a Taipan will be a force multiplier. So if you know where they're coming from, and by the way, they're usually going to come at night when you're asleep, or they think you're asleep. that's when they're going to come breaking down your door or something like that. Well, I guess it won't do you much good then. I'm talking outside your cabin when you have a patrol and you're kind of watching for the damn zombies coming. That's where it's helpful. And I think most y'all dialing into this nutnfancy AGM Taipan review are interested in that. Can we be honest? You might have as a secondary purpose application hog hunting, pest control, just fun, nod. I get all that, but I think most y'all are using it as a tactical force multiplier, and round of applause from me to you, because you're thinking correctly. Now, I've done some night vision device reviews already. Not a ton. They're hard for me to do. They're hard for me to get. This is the first one that I've bought. Well, not the first one, but it's a substantial expense. Again, thanks to the donors that allowed me to have the funds to purchase it. It is by request, by the way. So when I posted my FLIR breach, the PTQ 136 thermal monocular, which is helmet mountable, I think that's the designation on it. I had a request to review lower priced units like this one, the AGMs. And by the way, there's a ton of them. And some other ones too. And I may do other ones. We'll just see. We'll see how it goes. And so it's been on my list ever since I posted the FLIR breach review. And basically since that time, after purchasing it, I've been testing it. Not like continuously, but off and on. So like I said, I know the device well. I know its ins and outs, how it stacks up against a much more expensive FLIR breach, which by the way is an outstanding unit. Go watch that review. Yeah, so that's philosophy of use as I see it. Let's get into the features. What can it do? Is it worth having? Is it worth the money? I'm going to reiterate this again. There are several models of AGM Taipans. So this one is a TM15384. Below you'll see my links taking you to Pro 2A friendly Optics Planet. I do kindly ask you use my links. Won't cost you anything, and I'll get like $1 off your purchase. And then those stack up, and lo and behold, I can go out and buy some ammo, gas, or whatever in the hell I want to buy. Yeah, so I got to make money doing this gig. So use my links below. The one I'm going to recommend to you guys is this one, the TM15384. I think it finds the sweet spot of performance and price. You can go with an AGM TM19-384. It's going to be several $100s more. While I did not test that in person, I did research all these units very extensively, and you're looking at the unit that I myself will own. This one, I think it provides outstanding performance, outstanding resolution, clarity, runtime, all that other stuff, again, from my own in-field testing, which you're going to see overlays if you haven't already. Of me just running around looking at mama deer, baby deer. I don't think I have any people. I think it's all deer that I'm showing you in this one, and that's a-okay because they're great for heat signatures. Maybe a cow or two. Yeah. Now there's some other ones I'm going to list below. They're less expensive. What you're going to lose is resolution and detection range. So if you cannot pony up to the price of this one, which is going to be around, I want to say like 12. I didn't write it down, like $12.75 at OP. And I'm not going to say that's super cheap, but remember, when it comes to NV, you're going to get what you pay for. There's really no shortcuts I have found yet to quality night vision, night observation devices on the cheap. Even though you're going to see some reviews, people talking about, oh, this one's great. Every one that I have seen tested throughout the years, not just recently, has been shit. So if it's like $400, shit. I've returned all of those. I wouldn't even run them. Surplus stuff, also crap. I don't like them. You're going to have to spend some money. That's the bottom line. And this is going to be kind of the entrance fee for this type of resolution, this type of detection range, the palettes you're going to get with your Taipan. But there are different models in the lineup. You might be satisfied with a lower end model. Look below in the links and I'll list a couple. And then I'll list like the sort that OP has for that. So you can just go through, click. Who knows? Maybe you can go with a lower end model, but this is going to be my recommended version, the TM15. Now I'm going to go over specs super quick. That way I won't forget. It comes with a magnification of 1.5. This unit weighs 10 ounces. The resolution is 384 by 288. And that's going to be the same resolution on the TM19 as well. Also 384 by 288. What you're going to get is a longer detection range, as I understand it, with a TM19. So you're going to be able to supposedly see out to 900 meters. Now, I said that in air quotes. I shouldn't do that because I have found that AGM's claims on these Taipans are actually pretty accurate. They both have, I think, a 384, 288 infrared detector, 35 millikelvin, something like that. Don't even worry about it. You don't have to remember that. It's nonsense. Objective lens diameter on this one's 15 millimeters. Field of view is 17.5 to 13.1. Has a built-in lithium battery on it. Let's talk about that super quick. Now, you could look at this as a disadvantage. It really depends on your point of view. Because you go, well, it's a built-in lithium. The FLIR Breach thermal monocular had a replaceable CR123 lithium battery, disposable. So you could easily pop in a new battery. It also had a way to plug in an external battery. Again, watch my review. I talk all about it. I found the battery in this to last very well, albeit I tested it in warm conditions. You take it down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, it might have a less runtime, especially if you're running video, taking pictures, or if you have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth enabled. Yes, it has both of those features. You can hook up to an app that you can put on your phone. And by the way, the last thing I need on my phone is another damn app. Do you feel the same way? Hey, we have an app you need to load on your phone. I'm like, no, I don't want no more damn apps on my phone. I didn't even do it with this at all. I didn't find a need. I don't need an app for it. Back to battery life though. Yeah, if you have all that whiz-bang stuff going, it's going to have a lower runtime. But it's rated at 8 hours. It's a 2.1 watt, 5 volt built-in lithium battery. What I'm going to recommend with you cats is that when you buy your Taipan, you're going to buy at least a 10,000 milliamp battery, just like this one. This is relatively lightweight, thin, easy to carry. It comes with USB-C charging cable. This isn't it. This is just representative. I always tape mine in green so I know it's not a USB micro or standard. You want to have this with your Taipan at all times. I don't care if the battery is fully charged because this has a power standby function and I didn't really read the manual and I was kind of stupid. So in my testing, in the menu, you'll use the power button right here. And when you're ready to turn off, you press and hold and it says shut down. And I pressed the wrong key and that didn't really shut the unit down. It just turned the display off and put it in power standby. And so I would grab the unit, I don't know, 2 days later and it's dead. And I was thinking it was the battery. I was like, man, this is a shitty battery in this Taipan. I can't wait to review this thing. No, it was me. I had it in power, like standby on the display. When you power the sucker down, press and hold this. It'll give you a menu, shut down, and then it's going to tell you to press, I believe, the M key, which is menu. Just press what it says. Yeah, I should have read that too. I didn't. But watch out for that. Yeah, so make sure you really shut your Taipan down when you are done with it. And also always carry a battery with it. Because you know what's going to happen, Murphy's Law. When the damn communist zombies start making a raid on your property, it's going to be dead. With this, you can bring this thing alive immediately. What I'm not representing is the length of cable I would like you to have. This is a very short one. You probably need at least a 3-foot cable. Then you could tuck this in a pocket in one of your magazine pouches on your LBE. Run it to your Taipan. You're back in business even if you had a dead battery. So it doesn't have a removable battery, replaceable? No. But that workaround will save your butt. You're welcome. You're welcome. The length on this is about 6.2 inches. This is my large size gloved hand. I think it's relatively small. I found it easy to carry, easy to integrate. Would fit in like an M1A, M14 ammo pouch. AR-15 is a little bit tight. You might want to have a dedicated pouch for it. Operating range is about -1 Fahrenheit to 130 Fahrenheit. So watch that. Again, I was well within that range. On the TM15, they're saying the detection range on the 35 millikelvin detector is 700 meters. And again, I was kind of making light of that, but it actually is pretty amazing. Really excellent detection range. I mean, I was seeing deer, not at 700 meters, but at least out to 400 or 500 yards. And I was impressed. IPX67 is a water resistance. It is rated for a 1.5 meter drop onto a hard surface. That's pretty dang good. There's no SD card that you're going to put in this. It has a built-in 8 gigabyte memory. And the way you're going to offload your video or photo images on this is by attaching your USB-C, then attaching it to your computer if you don't use the app. I think if you use the app, you can download them to your phone, transfer the images through your phone. Again, I didn't do that, but pretty straightforward, I think, if you decide to do that. You have a focusable diopter in this one, and it's right here. See, now the TM19's upgraded. It's actually a little bit cooler because it has a focusable objective. The TM15 does not. Did I miss it at all? Not really. I found that I got a pretty sharp image with this right here. And I found that this rubber cup was nice and stiff. I mean, well built. Better than the FLIR Breach. The FLIR Breach I thought was a little bit flimsy. It worked. But I think I mentioned in the review, I was like, man, this thing kind of spins around, because it's kind of oriented for a certain orientation, either if on the left or right eye. Notice this one on the AGM Taipan, it's just 360 degrees. And you might remember in the FLIR Breach review, I said, while it is helmet mountable, I think that's kind of a fantasy a lot of guys have. They're going to be running like a PVS unit on one eye. They're going to be running a FLIR Breach on another. They're going to have their Team Windy helmet. And I just think that's a bunch of nonsense, unless you really practice with that a lot. I found it pretty disorienting to do it that way, and I found that usually I'm hand holding the FLIR Breach to just see what's going on, and just like you would this one. And if you dedicate it to a single helmet, if you have other people in your group, they don't have that. You're not going to have like 10 of these things. They're too expensive, too hard to get. No one else besides you has planned ahead, by the way. You're going to be handing this off to other dudes to use. You might give it to a patrol and say, hey, here's the AGM Taipan, take care of it, and, you know, there you go. I don't know if you notice this tripod attachment hole in the bottom right there. Pretty cool. Ergonomically, I think it's very comfortable, works great. I'm okay with the button system. There are icons showing you what they do. This is a power on button. This is the photo or video start stop button. A quick press will take a picture. A hard press and hold will start your video or end your video. That's how I captured my images. You might see it recording in the video that the Taipan takes. This is your menu right here. And I will say it has several functions. I didn't use hardly any of them except palette. I did use palette. It's how you're going to access a palette. I think if you press and hold, it will take you into OSD, brightness, contrast, scene mode, network, blah, 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 DPC, CVBS, language version, restore, and a whole bunch of other stuff you probably won't use. And I do believe the firmware on this is upgradable if you care about that. The one I used it for is a quick press. It just takes me to palette. The palettes you're going to have on your AGM Taipan, whatever version you choose, are all going to be the same. They are super useful. Not as extensive as a FLIR Breach. You're going to have white hot, black hot, fusion, and red hot. And you're going to see representations of all of those as we're talking here. Okay, I'll get back to the quality on that here in a second. This one here is your digital zoom, your last button, and it shows a magnifying glass with a plus and minus sign. And it will go 2, 4, and 8 digital zoom. I found the most I would use was 2 power. Once I went to 4 or 8 power, the AGM Taipan was just too darn grainy. Now you might say, why don't they use an optical zoom? That would be so much cooler. It would be cooler, it would be more functional, but then you're going to get a much more expensive unit because you're going to have an optical lens assembly on the end. It's going to be bigger, probably 1.5 times the length of this one, and you might as well just add $500 to the cost. That's the answer. And this already has a built-in 1.5 magnification, and that's what most people are going to be using it as. Is like an area observation nod, that they're just seeing where the pigs are and planning accordingly. The hogs down in Texas is what I'm talking about, dudes. The hogs down in Texas. Yeah, so that's the features down and dirty. I think it was very straightforward to use, very intuitive to use, albeit I did have some button confusion at times because you're looking through the unit and you're just going by feel. Just know the top one is your power, start, stop video. This one's very important. This is how you're going to be cycling through your palettes. Let's talk about that. As I said and promised I would, which is my favorite? That is a really hard question with the AGM Taipan. In the FLIR Breach monocular review, I did have some favorites, and they're probably going to be echoed here. I really like the black and white hot versions. They're very clean, really easy to spot heat signatures. And this also has a designator. It will show like a bright spot for the hottest heat signature within the field of view on the Taipans. At least the 15s and 19s and on up have that feature. Fusion was cool too. So Fusion is high color. It kind of shows a representation of heat. I really like Fusion too. Red hot, I like that one as well. But generally I'm operating either white hot or black hot, and it really depends on the background. So in my imagery that I'm showing you, if the background is super hot, I'll interchange those two so I get less clutter. And it's just going to be highly variable. In one way, I kind of like they limited the palettes on the AGM. The FLIR Breach had a lot. And while it's cool, it means I have to cycle through the menu frequently to get to the one I want. I think they chose the 4 highest beloved palettes from end users. And maybe they got that from feedback. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I will tell you this. Now we get to the quality of all these palettes. Did it do what it's supposed to do? The answer is a resounding yes. Resounding yes. The screen is a 1280 by 960 resolution, 0.4 inch LCOS display. I had no problem defining what I was looking at. When I see a fawn hiding in a field, I knew it was a fawn. I'm looking at a deer, I know it's a deer. Well, granted, that's all I was looking at. Well, I'm probably not going to show any people, but those would be even easier. I mean, deer hide, they have brush, they're hiding behind brush. I mean, this thing picked them out. And distance. I mean, I'm going to show you, I think I have video that I've uploaded to my hard drive that I'll integrate into this review. I'm saying it was like 500 yards. The deer herd that I saw at night, and I had no problem detecting them. So I will say the FLIR Breach did the same thing. It was amazing. The resolution on this, again, it's going to be 384 by 288. It's as good as the FLIR Breach, maybe even a little bit better. Because I had to send the FLIR Breach back. I don't have it right here, but you may see some images of it, of me testing it. I love the FLIR Breach, still do. But going off memory, I was like, this seems like it's really clear. Really clear, especially for the price level. For the quality that it's delivering, the detection range it's delivering, the palettes, I really think it's a valued thermal imaging scope. I ended the FLIR Breach review saying, hey, nutnfancy, would you buy like a night vision device, like a monocular, a PVS unit, like a PVS 14 or something, or would you go thermal imaging? And I really had to think about that. It was a hard question because thermal imaging just really gives you that force multiplication, the tactical advantage against the hogs, against the rats, against the communist zombies. I love thermal. Ideally, you have both. You can have both in your kit and use it. I don't know. This thing, I was super impressed with it. Again, the battery life was more than enough. They're rating it at 8 hours. By the way, 3-year warranty if you care. And it's a tough, well-built unit. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. So you guys are right. There were TMP donors, and that's where I got the idea to go to this AGM Taipan thermal monocular. They're the ones that told me in the FLIR Breach in their comments. They're like, hey, dude, thanks for the review. Check out the AGMs. And I was like, okay, I'll put them on the list. And the reason I'm doing it is because my other Nod reviews got good support. So I'm talking views that, that make me happy. Guys are using my affiliate links. I'll watch that too. And if, it happens again, we'll do some more Nod stuff. I do have this from long-term elite TMP donor Sammy Marchand in Texas. He just sent me this. So I'm just starting my testing on this. Sammy, it's probably going to be a couple weeks before I put it on a gun. But this just, an IR laser, so I'm going to be using it in conjunction with some other stuff that I've reviewed. Yeah, would I buy an AGM Taipan TM15384? Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah, I bought it for review. I understand that, and the review could have tanked. To be honest, I could have burned this money, and it comes to tabletop, and I go, this thing sucks. It doesn't perform as I thought it would, but I would just sell it on the secondary market, take a loss on it. You know, I'd go to eBay, sell it, and I tell you in the review, but it didn't turn out that way. The AGM is fantastic. It's a lightweight, portable unit. It does what it says it will do, and it's totally recommended. Just go through the links below, figure out which version you want. This is my recommended version. Now, if you know it's between buying one of these and making your rent or house payment, please make your rent or house payment. This is kind of last on the list of your preparation items, let's be honest. But some guys in TMP have a fair amount of money. They've worked their butts off in life. Good on you. You're dialing into the right voice for me to steer you in the direction I think that is honorable and correct for your systems. Tactical advantage, force multiplier, you bet. The Taipan thermal monoculars are fantastic. They are highly, highly recommended. Now a round of applause for AGM. Thank you. And I don't think they're too expensive for the performance given. This, by the way, is a 357 TRR8. Super sick, awesome 357 Magnum. Reviewed about a decade ago in the project. I finally got it back from Tactical Doodle. This is a Citizen professional diver. Link below taking you to Joma Shop. Love this watch. And the watch I'm wearing right now is a PRG 650. No longer made. Eat your heart out. It's a JDM only. And on this side, I've got kind of a Bell & Ross homage. I need to get my review out on that. I've done it. I just haven't posted it. This is a great watch for the money. Great watch. Yeah, get into watches too. They are super fun. No, they don't give you tactical advantage, but they do give you enjoyment. And last time I checked, you need to enjoy life as well. By the way, there's your neoprene cover carry case for your Taipan monocular. And we are complete with another Nod review in the nutnfancy project. If I missed something, so sorry. I think I covered everything that most guys would want to know about. Great unit. Come again real soon. Be a donor. No tier levels. $1 a creation. You can do that. I charge $6 per month. Holy cow. $6 per month at $1? That's $6. Anybody can do that. Stay for the rest of your life. And even if you're not a donor, you're supporting me with a view. Thank you so much. Thumbs up from me to you. See you next video.